What is up, awesome people? And welcome back to my Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire walkthrough. Alrighty, so in this episode, I am going to show you guys how to transfer Pokemon from X and Y to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And at the same time, I'm going to show you guys how to get a hold of the Dianceites to be able to get a hold of Mega Diancie. Alright, so this is a question I keep getting asked quite a lot. So I think a lot of people are a little bit confused here about the compatibility between X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Now, just to clear it up, X and Y and Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are compatible of trading in between each other. So if you own two DSs, you can trade them from one game to the other. So you can transfer from X and Y to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. If you don't have two DSs, you can also use Pokebank to transfer from X and Y to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Now, I don't actually own Pokebank on my capture card. I actually have Pokebank on my American DS and my DS that doesn't have Pokebank on it, which is my Australian version. My Australian version that doesn't have the capture card on it has Pokebank, so that's quite annoying. I can't actually show you guys my Pokebank that way, so I'll do it the other way, which is through PSS. Now, as I said, it does work with Pokebank. All you gotta do is grab your Diancie and put it into your Pokebank box, and then load up your Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire game in your Pokebank, and then move your Diancie that's in Pokebank into a box in your Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. The other way to do it, as I said, is through PSS, and that is how I'm going to do it for this episode. So all you got to do is go to your Play Nav in your PokeNav Plus, and then select your character, which will most likely be in Passerbuyer, and ask them for a trade. And of course, you got to go through all the usual stuff, proposing a trade to Passerbuyer KrimZen, which is my Pokemon X and Y edition. So currently setting up the trade right now, and we'll go from there. Alright, so who would have thought, even though the DSs are sitting right next to each other, it would take freaking for ages to get into it. Alright, so communicating, please stand by. Alright, so this will only work, I think, if you got the Diancie from the Diancie event that happened quite recently. And for those in Australia, I just have to look a little reminder, it does end this Friday. So if you haven't gotten a hold of your Diancie from the Diancie event being held, make sure you get a bit of a move on, because it does end this Friday. Not too sure about the rest of the world. I haven't got the details up on it. And at the same time, where did I put that Diancie? It's somewhere in one of my boxes. Where are we? It would have been a smart idea if I actually put that Diancie where I could find it. Not that one. Not there. Not there, not there. Oh, where? I can't find it. Where is it? So many empty boxes. Wow, where is my Diancie? I can't find it. Okay, we'll go D for Diancie. There it is. I missed it. Alright, so there is my Diancie for my Pokemon X and Y. I did get this through the Diancie event held in Australia. I also did a video on this as well. So one thing you also need to make note when you're doing a trade from X and Y to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Sorry, I should be really saying Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire to Pokemon X and Y. You cannot transfer any tutor moves or egg moves that it could not learn in Pokemon X and Y, which is a bit of a bummer, to be honest. And the new Mega Stones will not go through to the Pokemon X and Y, so do be careful about what you do trade over. I do believe that should be able to go through. Right, we're going through. Alright, so I'm going to trade off this little Wingull that I caught. I don't know why I've got a duplicate, but I just do. I think I caught once for the Dex Nerve, I do believe. That's probably why I've got a dud Wingull. Anyways, there is my Diancie. It's been traded from Pokemon X and Y over to my Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So that, as I said, is one method of getting your Pokemon from Pokemon X and Y over to Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. The other one, of course, is through the Pokebank if you only own one DS. As I said, you can take advantage of trading if you've got 2 DSs, or you can do Pokebank if you've only got one. Both methods should work. Just also make sure to update your Pokebank to the latest patch to be able to transfer any Pokemon over to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire due to the capabilities. Anyways, once you got your Diancie, you should be able to take it to any Pokemon Center. And there should be someone here who gives you the Diancie. Eventually I will find it. Maybe you talk to Nurse Joy. Oh wait, I gotta have it in my party, dum-dum. I'll put it in my party to see what happens. Alright, where is it? I'll get rid of my Lanoon. I'll see what happens when I heal my Pokemon. It's either to a Pokemon Center or to the Pokemart. Okay, maybe not. Where do you get this bloody Diancie? Ah, here we go. Got a cutscene, so make sure it's in your party, otherwise this won't work. Please, just a moment, monsieur. I need you to attend the... Do forgive us, young mistress, for speaking without an introduction. There is a matter of great import that we must discuss. Is it true that you have somehow obtained the mythical Pokemon Diancie? Diancie, the inexplicable mutation arising from the Pokemon we know as Carbink. We know where it originated from, and the mechanism of its formation is indeed a mysterious I can't speak French existence. Now I'm just laughing at my poor pronunciation. One of this plus grands what? Now I can't. Oh my goodness! I'm just gonna give up. Oh my god. Alright, you guys can read. Oh my god, this is more French. Anyways, I'm just gonna dribble on about Diancie. I'm just gonna say yes for the hell of it. Alright, so this little boy is gonna come in. Ah, so it's kind of like how the Diancie event played out in X and Y. You say, they ask you for the Diancie, you say no, and then someone walks in and says, no, 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 you can get me a Diancie the proper way. And with that, he gives us the Diancie. So I think no matter what you say, no way, or yeah, you can have it, you still get the Diancie regardless. And then he goes on about the Mega Evolution. Bye-bye, folks. Alright, let's get the Diancie to my Diancie. Whoops, I don't want to restore it, I want to give. Item, give. And my Diancie should be all the way down the bottom. Alright, let's go see what this Mega Diancie is capable of. Whoops. So let's move my Diancie to the lead. And I'll just take on like a level 3 Pokemon for the heck of it. Alright, let's go into a wild Pokemon battle. Alright, level 2 or 3 Wurmple, I do believe. Level 2, that's dandy with me. Let's go Diamond Storm. Alright, Diancie's reacting to the Mega Stone. Let's see what it looks like. Right, there is Mega Diancie. It looks pretty cool, to be honest. And, well, that was a kind of overkill, I do believe. Alrighty, that is Mega Diancie. I don't think I can... I think I'll just show off Diancie just up close. But that is what Mega Diancie looks like, and that is how you get a hold of Mega Diancie. And excuse me, and at the same time, that is how you transfer from Pokemon X and Y to Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. As I said, I do apologise, I can't actually show you the Pokebank way. I don't actually have Pokebank on this DS because I need to do a complete system transfer from my original Australian DS to my new Australian DS, which is my 3DS XL, which is probably no point because there's a new DS coming over and I'll most likely buy that a little bit later on down the track. So there is my level 50 event Diancie that I got a hold of at the beginning of this month, I do believe. And as I said, for us Australians, it does end this Friday, and I can't give you other people around the world's dates because, as I said, I don't actually have them up on screen at the moment. So if you just want to leave it down in the comments or something as a reminder, or at the same time you have codes or something you want to get, you got spare codes that you're willing to give away, make sure to post them in the comment section below. I do believe the codes don't expire on the exact date, so as long as you got a hold of a code from a store participating in the event, you can still use them after the date, since they, I do believe, don't expire. So as I said, if you've got spare codes laying around and you want to give them out, just leave them in the comment section below, and I'm sure some person would love a Diancie. Now, I do believe the Diancie can only be claimed on Pokemon X and Y, not Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, since it is a X and Y exclusive event. Sorry, I can't talk. Is there anything else I need to talk about? I think there's a few other things I need to cover, and that would be the moves Diancie gets. Now, I do believe Diancie gets a hold of Earth Power this gen through Tutor. Now, if that is correct, that would make Diancie a pretty powerful Pokemon, and I don't know if the rumours are true or not, but this thing gets a hold of Power Gem. Now, Carbink does get a hold of Power Gem as a level up move, but the funny thing was, I did mention it did get Power Gem in my little strategy look when I did the Diancie event. Now, people actually told me it couldn't get that through X and Y, which I found a bit strange because Smogon actually says that Diancie gets Power Gem, and at the same time, if you go into random battle with a Diancie, the chances are it's got Power Gem. So whether or not it's got it in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, I'm honestly not too sure. If Smogon says it's got it, then there's a good chance that when I did a RAM dump of it when they went through the demo version of Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which is where everyone got the information for the new games, I do believe they may have stumbled across Diancie having Power Gem. So if it does, yeah, that would actually be a really good move on Diancie for a special set. I'm just thinking out loud here because I did make a bit of a boo-boo and didn't actually realise Power Gem wasn't a legal move on Diancie and X and Y. So that was my bad because I was just following Pokemon Showdown's team builder thing. So anyways, I think I kind of dribbled on long enough because I didn't actually realise how long I'd be talking for. So yeah, I think I made my point clear. That's how you get Mega Diancie and the Diancieite. It's also how you transfer from Pokemon X and Y to Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. As I said, this method works if you've got 2 DSs. If you've only got 1 DS, I strongly recommend using your Pokebank because that would work as long as you've got the Pokebank 1.1 version, I do believe, from their eShop. So if you haven't got that, you won't be able to do your Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire transfers. So make sure you go and do the update for that first before attempting this. So that should answer a lot of people's questions. The only way to transfer items, I'm sorry is to say, is through 2 DSs. So you need 2 DSs and do it through the PSS to transfer items. That's how I got my Snowball onto my Regice for my Regigigas episode. So if you got any items that you need to transfer from Pokemon X and Y, you want to hope you got 2 DSs. Otherwise, there's no way of transferring items otherwise. Pokebank does not take items, so that cancels the idea of doing that one if that's why you wanted to do it. Otherwise, you might want to try and talk to someone who has Pokemon X and Y and see if they can transfer it for you. But there's a good chance that Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire has all the items that you might possibly want to transfer anyways. I am going to be covering quite a lot of the useful items a little bit later on down the track, so make sure to keep an eye out for them. If you do have a particular item you want me to cover or find out where it is for you, let me know in the comments section as well, and I will see if I can hunt that down for you and answer your question. Alright, so that's it for this episode. Thank you so much, guys, for sticking around and taking the time out of your day to check out this episode. And if you haven't already, make sure to check out my previous episodes for the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire walkthrough. And if you like what you're seeing, make sure to stick around for future episodes. So until next time, this is Lady KrimZen saying ciao for now, but not forever. Ciao!